Hi and welcome to the Free For All pod with me, Rob Fludder. As the title suggests, this is a total free-for-all with no set subject or genre, just a light-hearted and fun podcast in which I encourage listener interaction and at times special guests. Wherever you're listening, just relax and let's get into the episode. Hi and welcome to the Free For All pod. Yes, it is me, Rob Fludder, and I'm on my own this week. No little helpers this week, so Kerry's out and about. And I don't think Lucy's popping in either. I think Lucy popped in on the school days one. Kerry's helped out with the last couple, including the holidays and school days. So just me, myself, and I. Just wanting to put out an episode at the moment, and I want to share some news with you all. So you know how much. So let me start again. Right. Those of you that know me know I absolutely love sport, right? And anyone listening to the pod will know, I hope it comes across that I absolutely love producing these because I say it every week, but genuinely, I absolutely love it, right? But the Free For All pod was something I put together when I first started, listening to a load of podcasts, and I didn't really have any set genre or title in mind. I think there's so many specifics out there. So many amazing podcasts dedicated to sport or true crime, politics, history, etc., etc. So this is my little venture and something that I absolutely love. And I have no qualms about this. I'm not stopping at any point. But I started to add a little bit of a thought. I thought, well, do you know what? I'd love to do this for another reason. Ideally with sport. So what I did, I reached out to a number of sports clubs. So in the summer, I reached out to Warrington Town Football Club, and I just asked them if they would like me to produce a podcast for them. I did my research; they didn't have anything, but they didn't come back to me and thought no worries. And then last weekend, I reached out to Chorley Town and Newton Sports Club, respectively, and Chorley Town come back and they're ever so nice, but they said, look, it's not something we want to do at the moment, but maybe we'll be in the summer because we'll be reviewing our social media status. But in the meantime, Newton Sports Club come back to me and said, look, it's something we'll be interested in. We don't have, can we have a chat? So I went down and met Joanne, the manager of the club, and we had a only about half hour. Explain what I want to do, a bit about me. She'd listened to the Free For All pod a little bit, and she's really excited. And she's like, "Yeah, we could do something." I've come away from this meeting last Thursday, and I'm in the process of now of building a podcast for Newton Sports Club. Just really excited. And Newton Sports Club, it's only down the road from me as well, which is absolutely amazing. You know, it makes it so much easier. But they've got one rugby union team. I think there's 2 rugby league teams, a football team, and a couple of cricket teams. Plus, they're all adults teams. Plus, you've got the kids teams that are under that. So, this last season, the cricket team, the first team, they got promoted to the highest division. And Joanne was telling me that they got some really new. Some new signings that they're really excited by, and some overseas signings as well. So that's absolutely fantastic. I think the football team's in a semi-final as well. And then you've got like so many events there. They put up like an amazing firework night display. All the tickets sold out this year. And they do other like charity events. They've also got over 800 members. Now, it's not a members-only club, but they've got these members that sign up, and there's all sorts of good things to sign up for, so you get a bit of a discount, I think, off of drinks, etc., and you get invited to functions. But also, they are releasing their own not podcast. That's me. I'm doing that. Their website in the next 2 weeks as well. So it's fair to say all their social media is pretty much done on via Facebook. And it means that someone's got to really update Facebook all the time, and it's not a dedicated website. Whereas that's getting launched. And Joanne also said that they're going to start putting food on, and doing meals and hot food, which is the first for the club as well. And I think Joanne and her husband, they've been doing this part time up until August this year. And then they've gone to do it full time as well. So they're really dedicating a lot of time and effort. And you can feel the buzz around the club. So for me to have an opportunity to put a podcast together for them, I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm really, really made up, and it's a really good news story, if I'm honest. So yeah, I'm in a process. I've made a little intro, a little jingle for it, that I want to share with them, and I'm just waiting for some information, and I can put the first episode out. But unlike the Free For All pod, you see with this, so I've not written anything down for this podcast, and very rarely do I, if I'm honest. For some of the episodes, I have done a little bit of background work. Put in some theme tunes, for example, when I did the 80s the 80s episode. But generally, I just do it off the cuff. And that's the way I like it. You know what I mean? I've said from the start, it's a free for all. No set genre, and it's mine, and I love it. But producing something for someone else, and for people that got 800 members, not that everybody will listen, but plus the players and coaches and staff of the club, you know what I mean? You got to get it right, and you want to. There's a bit of pressure, I think, but it's brilliant. I love that. I love a little bit of pressure, and one of the things it will do is, I think it's fair to say that the Free For All, I've not done an episode as frequently as I wanted. I've made some excuses, some are valid, but time and work commitments, and I changed jobs twice in the last 12 months, and I made a big move from where I lived, etc., etc. All of those sort of things that you can put down to excuses and reasons. But to do this for Newton, I think that there'll be an expectancy that it will be a higher frequency, weekly probably, if not at least every other week. Which is absolutely fantastic, but it does mean I've got to get me arse in gear, and I've got to sort out a bit how I organise myself, and so I don't just mean for podcasting reasons, although for a podcast you need it quite quiet. Now in the background you may hear a little bit of the washing machine on the go, because that's going and the dog's about, but everybody's out at the moment, so ideal time to put a podcast together, because obviously these microphones pick up everything, so too much interruptions there. But so I've got to juggle work, I've got to juggle getting to the club and getting the information, I've got to juggle home life, and I've got to juggle producing this plus the free for all. So a little bit of pressure there, and it means that I've got to be, as I said, more organised and come up with a plan that's not norm to me. And as if it takes off, which is obviously the hope, then there'll be more time I need to dedicate to that. At the same time, work will kick off, as in get really, really busy as we come into the summer period, and we got the Queen's Jubilee this year, so extra bank holiday that really drives some sales into the customer at work, and there's an expectation there. And in work life, I've got a massive change agenda going on as well. So I can't say too much about work, so I don't have permission to say who I work for and anything about that. So I'm not going to really go there. But and I'm going to lead a lot of that change agenda. And some of that change is what I want, but I've got to respect what the company wants, their own change agenda, including the health and safety agenda that we got going on at the moment. Massive actions coming out of that, massive engagement piece for us to work on, plus what the customer wants as well. So just mindful of that side of it, and in my position in the company and in the site means that I've got to lead a lot of that, and it's non-negotiable. I've got to deliver it. So a lot of time and effort dedicated to that, and then in my spare time, I absolutely love doing this podcast. So I want to keep the free for all going, plus this Newton piece. It's massive, for me. So I'll go from doing a free for all every now and again when I can put my arse in gear and come up with some content, to work, and it's going great guns. I absolutely love what I'm doing at the moment. But there's a whole host of challenge there, but it's great for me, and I think I need that. I thrive off it, because I can be a real problem when there's not enough structure and not enough going on for me, which is actually quite strange, because if any of the listeners remember, when I did an episode, I think it was episode 3 last summertime, where I spoke quite a lot about mental health in men and the struggles that I was having as an individual, and it's fair to say that I think at that time maybe work weren't the best, and it was a different job, different company than what I am now. So I'm not slating anyone here. But the move, I done a big move, and if I put this now where I am, so work's going great guns. There's a high level of expectation there that I'm thriving on actually. Doing a podcast plus taking on another podcast for a renowned, club that's local that got 800 members and probably going to demand some of my time. I feel it's probably all too consuming, overwhelming, and probably won't be able to do it if I'm honest. And it's one of those where sometimes you just have to go, forget about the worries and anything else. Just get on with it. You absolutely love doing this, so it's actually giving me a bit of fire in my belly to do more. And I can't wait to get started, if I'm honest with you. And I think I just want to say a big thank you at the moment to at this point, the Free For All listeners, that especially the regular listeners. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to big up saying that's out of kilter here. I've got just over 170 downloads, right? And some of them are me, and it's not because I want to listen to my own voice all the time, but you do want to know how you sound. But as you're doing your social media piece and you're putting clips up, sometimes it downloads it, right? But I have got people out there, listeners, that do listen in really, really regular, and I can tell that because on the hosting site, it tells me the location and how many likes it's had, etc., etc. So I can see those regular listeners, and I just want to say a massive thank you, because if it weren't for you guys and where this pod has gone, I probably wouldn't have had the balls, if you like, to go out to reach out to anybody else to say, look, can I do a podcast for you? But you've given me massive confidence, and it's a compliment to people that have written in and have given me some great feedback, especially after that mental health episode, and it inspires you to do more. And just on that, I just want to add a piece now that if there's anyone out there that's got a hobby, right, and they want to take it to the next level, but they've been a bit, I'm not sure, shan't I? Especially after the last 2 years we've had with COVID, it gets in the way of everything. It stopped a lot, COVID. And whether that's, you're a keen podcaster such as I, or, sport. Let's say you love running, right? And you feel, I've taken up running. I want to do my first 10K. I'm not sure. I might be too slow. It might be. Just go and do it, right? Is it a pottery class? Do you want to do some landscape design? Do you want to design wedding dresses? Is there a song you want to write? Whatever it is, you want to take that next step, but you've been held back, right? I'm telling you, do it. Do it now, right? In fact, if you're listening to this podcast, unless you're driving, then carry on. Do not touch anything, hands-free and all that. Let's not put you in any kind of situation where you can have an accident, right? But if you're listening to this at home, pause it. Okay, I want you to listen to the whole episode. But pause it right now, and enter yourself into that race, or send an email to the person you want to design for, or, the person you want to write the music for, or you need to rent a studio. Whatever the case is, right, do it now, yeah? There's no time like the present. Don't start. Don't ask any more questions. Just do it. Because I'll tell you what, excuse me, I sent a couple of those emails. That's all I did, right? A couple of emails, and I was grateful enough that both responded within 48 hours and one wanted to meet me, right? So, look, 50% success rate. Now, that ain't bad, right? Excuse me, dry throat. I might need to... let me just have a little coffee. Yeah, look, that's how unprofessional this is, right? It's proper amateur. I'm drinking a coffee, and you can hear that. But anyway, listen, right? I got a bit lucky. I get it. Probably I've sent it at the right time for Newton. But you know what? Sometimes we all deserve or need a little bit of luck, right? But go. Just honestly, push out that email, enter that race, send off your designs, send your tracks off if you've been singing, whatever. I don't care what it is, right? Go and do it. It makes you feel so much better and gives you a bit of energy, and it gives you something else to look forward to. Because in the last episode, I spoke, it was dedicated to holidays. And one of the points we brought up on that was just how much we look forward to a holiday, right? And rightly so. But we work hard all year. They're quite expensive things. And typically, and I'm generalising here, it's a one week or 2 week holiday once a year, right? So it's great